In Chicago, and welcome to this week's StreetWise Street Scene. I want to thank K&T for allowing us to have our 9th season on K&TV. My name is Greg Pritchett. I'm the Director of Distribution and Vendor Services for StreetWise organization. And every 13 weeks, we like to use K&TV as a platform to reach you, Chicago, and let you know what a great organization StreetWise is all about, and how you, Chicago, can take advantage of being a part of our organization. A lot of questions that still continue since 1992 when StreetWise started is, what is StreetWise? Being around since 1992, StreetWise has evolved in so many ways. And with that time comes a lot of misinformation, also a lot of stereotypes. Our vendors who sell StreetWise, they bust and smash stereotypes. So the question is, what is StreetWise? And at the beginning of every show, I like to go over our mission statement and actually break it down so you, Chicago, can get a full understanding of what StreetWise is about and what we have to offer. Well, StreetWise is an organization that helps men and women who are homeless or at risk of being homeless. We empower them through employment to help them become self-sufficient. Let's take the first part. Homeless or at risk of being homeless. Well, everyone's at risk of being homeless, and it only takes 1 second and the bottom can drop out from underneath us. But a lot of times when we get so wrapped up in our daily lives and the hustle and bustle of the daily grind, we begin to take for granted a lot of things God has blessed us with. At one point of our life, we'll feel like the house will always be there, the car will always be there, the money will always be there. Let's say mom and dad will always be there. And at that very moment while we're feeling so grandiose about ourselves, we may see someone who may be struggling, someone who may be down and out, or someone who may be homeless. And somewhere inside us we say to ourselves, or we said to ourselves, man, that can never happen to me. Well, Chicago, it doesn't discriminate. It can happen to anyone. Let me give you some clear-cut examples on ways people can become homeless. Hurricanes, floods, fires, drug abuse, loss of jobs, bad economy, health issues, mentally or physically. These are ways people can become homeless. So I like to say StreetWise is for everyone. It's a means of financial, mental, and spiritual gain. But here's one of the things a lot of people don't realize about the organization is that you do not have to be homeless to be a part of the organization. You do not have to be homeless to be a vendor. The only requirement to be a part of an organization is the want and the need to better oneself. That's heaven sent for the brother who may have been locked up for 5 years. He's rehabilitated himself. He gets out, he's realized he wants to get a job, he wants to better himself, but once he get out, he realizes no one's trying to give him an opportunity, let alone a job. That individual is able to come through StreetWise, generate a legal income, but at the same time, gain the necessary tools is going to take for him to use StreetWise as a stepping stone. That's where our Work Empowerment Resource Center comes to play at, where the vendor is able to take computer classes, one-on-one tutoring if necessary. They're able to put together resumes, do job search, use that facility as a way of taking advantage of idle time, if that's what the case is. By being in that room, they're able to learn, they're able to be around other people who may have made wrong choices or wrong decisions in their past, but are willing to do whatever it takes to move forward. StreetWise is also heaven sent for the lady who probably lost her apartment. She has 3 kids and have nowhere to go. It's heaven sent for the person who may have lost their job. And the only reason I don't think they think about coming to StreetWise because they think they have to be homeless. I've learned a lot about being a part of an organization and the view that people have on the inside of looking at StreetWise. Today, people are losing their jobs, people are getting laid off, people are getting fired, and StreetWise vendors are working. We have a lot of formerly homeless men and women who sell StreetWise. How did they become formerly homeless? Keyword is formerly. They use StreetWise as a resource to get out of that situation. We did a survey, and the survey said that 68% of our vendors, before they came to StreetWise, they were actually living in the streets. But because they were able to sell the product, which is a magazine, and also we have StreetWise, the movie, it helped them get a hotel room that night, and the next night, and the next night. Now, in some cases, these places are not the white picket fence with a dog in the yard, but it's a place where they can shower, sleep, put their stuff, put some money to the side, get a part of our housing program in StreetWise, and hopefully get a studio apartment. We have vendors who sell StreetWise who are never been homeless a day in their life. Why do they sell StreetWise? Well, so they can keep their place. Bills have to be paid. We have vendors who sell StreetWise who are working on getting their GED. We have vendors who sell StreetWise who have part-time jobs outside of StreetWise. They use StreetWise for extra income. We also have vendors who sell StreetWise, believe it or not, or in college. And I give these examples so you can see how rounded the vendor force is. But if you was to pay attention to a lot of the stereotypes, you would think that all StreetWise vendors are homeless. StreetWise is the only organization I know that anybody walk off the street. See, we don't care about your color, your political views, your religion beliefs, or criminal backgrounds. A lot of vendors have had parking tickets all the way up to drug case, but we don't hold that against them. We say, look, here's another opportunity to get back on your feet. You don't have that many chances with us unless you make the best of it right now. That you walk through the door, give you a business opportunity, and the only thing we want to return is for you to better yourself. I don't know one organization like that in the state of Illinois that will hold something you did in your past against you and stop you from being able to move forward with your future. StreetWise has helped so many people throughout the years. Since 1992, we have been able to help and give people an opportunity. 8,000 people, 8,552, that's what badge number we're on right now, have been able to come through StreetWise and use StreetWise as a stepping stone. Really, we get people who might not get job opportunities elsewhere, and the ones who work StreetWise, they treat it like a job. Maybe their lack of education, physical or mental disability, or maybe just their unwillingness not to accept authority. Some people have a problem with working with having supervisors, even though society says in order to make it in this world, you're going to have a supervisor. The men and women who come through StreetWise, we give them an opportunity to be their own boss, to run a business, and it's a job. It's not a license for charity. It's not a license to make people feel sorry for them. Actually, it's a license for them to sell a product that they will invest their money to sell to make a profit. The first part of that mission statement is talking about StreetWise is for everyone. You do not have to be homeless. The second part is about empowering through employment. That means if he didn't give you a job, they didn't hire you, or they may have fired you, or they may have laid you off, or they may have discriminated against you. Have you heard this one? We'll give you a call, and the phone never rang. When the men and women come to our orientations, we hold 2 times a week, Mondays or Wednesdays, 2 times a week, Mondays or Wednesdays, at our headquarters, 1201 Lake Street. And the orientation is really a mixture of motivational speaking. We go over our code of conduct. We actually break down the mission statement like I'm doing tonight, so the vendors who are attending can have a full understanding what StreetWise is about. We do sales training techniques. We're talking about how to run a business, the 4 major points, location, how to find a location. We talk about appearance and how appearance is very important as far as busting and smashing stereotypes that you are your business, so you may need to invest into your business. First little money you get, if need be, buy yourself a clean shirt, keep your hair groomed. Today the customer like to see you doing something positive with that money. And at the same time, if you look out there looking nice and clean, you'll feel good about yourself because you worked hard. You didn't have to beg or rob or steal to get that money. We also talk about customer service and how customer service is very important. And customer service, when it comes to StreetWise, means the knowledge that you have of the organization, being able to answer that question when somebody asks you what is StreetWise, to be able to recite that mission statement and actually break it down. The knowledge you have of the product. We talk about knowing what's in the magazine, the value, and the only way to know what's in there is to read that magazine, know your product. And we talk about how much inventory you have in stock. So actually, you know, StreetWise is a job and it is a business. The ones who do well, the vendors who do well, are the ones who treat it like a paper stand, they treat it like a store, and they develop that location. They have regular customers who support their business. When it comes to tips, we talk about, you know, don't be out there looking for tips. Tips are blessings. When you're doing what you're supposed to do and customers see that, you'll get those tips. And a lot of vendors today in the state we are in, StreetWise, they get tips, but they don't get the, oh, I feel sorry for this particular type of vendor. They get those type of keep up the good work, that's my neighborhood type vendor type tips. So in order to do that, they have to work it like a job. And when they're consistent with it, when they plan, plot, strategize, they're consistent and budget themselves, they will be able to achieve our goal. And our goal is to help men and women become self-sufficient. There you have it, Chicago. That is our mission at StreetWise, to help men and women who are homeless, who are at risk of being homeless, to empower them through employment, to help them become self-sufficient. If you'd like to be a part of our organization and you're sitting there right now and you wonder how you're going to pay the bills because you just got laid off or just got fired and you thought the only reason you had to be homeless to be a part of StreetWise, well, come on down to our orientation. Monday or Wednesdays. That's located 1201 West Lake Street, the corner of Lake and Racine. You can contact us at 312-829-2526. Earn money today, become a StreetWise vendor. We'll help you get started. Your first 15 magazines are free. If you're watching this particular show, our hotline show, we'll give you 20 magazines to get you started. What are the benefits of becoming a vendor? Well, you'll be able to work for yourself, work at your own pace, and set your own hours. You can start immediately. Everyone qualifies, no exceptions. Now, orientation, once again, Chicago is every Monday and Wednesdays at 10 o'clock, 1201 West Lake Street. Now, also keep in mind that StreetWise is more than selling magazines. We have a work empowerment resource center where you'll be able to use the computers for free. You know, you got internet cafes that charge you to use the internet. You come down to StreetWise, be a part of our organization. You can use our computer lab for free. We also have tutors who volunteer their time to help instruct the vendors to use the computers. Everyone's assigned the email address. I think that's very important because standard applications, job application, housing applications, or even just questions about yourself, there's always a space right now, what is your email address? So that's required in orientation to have an email address. We'll help you get an email address, show you how to log on and how to use that email address. We also have a new program at StreetWise at our Work Empowerment Center called the SWEET program. We have case managers to help you with housing, job-related. We have a new program starting October the 27th where we're going to have the mobile clinic truck come outside of StreetWise where our vendors are able to have free, health checkups. The van will be parked outside of StreetWise starting October the 20th, every Wednesday between 9 a.m. and 12. So Chicago, if you'd like to become a vendor, here's the information right now. This is the recruitment flyer, 1201 West Lake Street, every Wednesday and Monday at 10 a.m. Well, Chicago, since our last season, a lot of things have happened at StreetWise. A lot of positive things since I've last seen you guys 13 weeks ago. One of the things that happened is the North American Street Papers Association. Yes, there's an organization called NASA, and each year, street papers from all around the United States and Canada, they get together and they have a conference. They have different workshops on grant writing, marketing, vendor services, orientation. It's a real awesome conference, and this year Chicago StreetWise hosted the NASNA conference. It was held at DePaul University. A lot of positive. 82 people attended the conference out of 27 street papers throughout the U.S. and Canada. It was supported by DePaul University, who will use their facilities, and also with the help of the McCormick Foundation. A real positive conference. The first day we were at StreetWise, where a lot of the street papers around the United States and Canada got to see our facilities, see how we work down in StreetWise. I must say, from the response we got, they were really impressed, because some street papers in the United States, they do have a street paper, but they don't have their own facility. We've been very blessed to have our own facility, and with an awesome staff. They were really surprised about how our editorial staff was able to put together a magazine and put it out on a weekly basis with 3 on paid staff, and the help that we get with volunteers and interns. So big shout out to our editorial staff. A lot of the street papers were really impressed with our organizations. But what it was really about was about networking and helping the community. I mean, street papers help communities. Chicago is not the only one. A lot of street papers around the United States has used StreetWise as a model, and that same concept about empowering people through employment. So it was a very good conference, and I want to say thank you to the DePaul University and also McCormick Foundation. Also, we had the StreetWise Gala 2010. It was a rooftop event. Performance was by Sherry King, B.B. King's daughter. She performed. $25,000 net profit was put together through that night. Silent auction, a lot of food, a lot of different organizations and restaurants donated food, and it was a real good time. We're going to be doing this gala every year. So if you'd like to be a part of next year's gala event, be on the lookout every year. This year was on a rooftop event, and the stars were out, and a lot of people had a lot of good fun. So we also had this year's StreetWise Picnic 2010. Over about 100 vendors and their customers and family members were able to join each other and have some food. Food was provided by Uncle Remus. Big shout out to Gus and Uncle Remus, who provided the food at this year's picnic. Music was done by my production company, Lab 101, and DJ Acid K, who helped provide the music. All the vendors had had a blast, a real good fun. So we have this picnic every year. This year it was big fun, and we want you all to be on the lookout for that next year if you didn't attend. Thanks to Park District who provided Union Park, helped us with that event. So, you know, I want to put this flyer up here because I really think it's important that people really know that they can come down to StreetWise and become a vendor and take advantage of our job opportunity. Chicago, every week I always like to showcase what we do at StreetWise, break down the mission statement, talk about things that we have in the magazines, and also my main purpose is to highlight vendors that have done real well at StreetWise and went on to do great things outside of StreetWise. My guest is badge number 8257, Joseph Molnar. Welcome to StreetWise Street Scene.
Thank you, Greg. Joseph
has the cover of this week's StreetWise. He did the cover art for this week's StreetWise, and the cover is really booming. You are the only vendor in StreetWise history who has had their art displayed on the cover of StreetWise. Here it is, Chicago. This particular edition came out yesterday at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's talking about breast cancer, and Joseph Molnar, a vendor, put together the artwork for this week's edition. Joseph, how long have you been a vendor with StreetWise?
I've been a vendor for about a year and a half.
I want to say congratulations, man, because, you know, that is a milestone, being the first vendor to ever have this art displayed on the cover of StreetWise. What is the kind of response you're getting from that cover?
I've gotten a very good response. I'm flattered that Mr. Ben Cook allowed me to do the cover.
And how did that come about? He did a profile on you, and of course you mentioned that you like to do art.
We spoke a little bit, and I mentioned that I've been involved in art most of my life. And he mentioned that he could use. He's had a little bit of difficulty coming up with a cover for the breast cancer issue, and he asked me if I wanted to do it.
Okay.
And I took the opportunity to do just that. He liked it.
As well.
So he wanted to come up with a concept, you know, for the cover, and he just gave you the concept, which was breast cancer awareness, and you went on ahead and created this piece of artwork right here that's on all around the Chicagoland area right now. You know, StreetWise, we do 9,000 copies a week, and now your artwork is all around Chicago and outlying Chicagoland areas. You know, since 1992, yeah, there's never been a vendor's art displayed on the cover, so that's a big accomplishment. How long have you been doing art?
I've been drawing most of my life, ever since I was just a little boy, really. My parents encouraged it.
12:01 West Lake, yeah.
And I've enjoyed
Monday
it.
and Wednesday at
I just
10 o'clock.
kept doodling
and,
away.
If you show up early,
I got rather good at it. I went to the Art Institute in 6th grade.
Ron gets there about 7.
To further my knowledge of art, and then as time went on, I became older. I enrolled in the American Academy of Art, night classes here and there, live drawing, and kept at it, hoping someday to make a living at it.
So, what were some of your inspirations as far as other artists that you liked, you know, coming up? What were some of your inspirations?
Well, initially it was Walt Disney and Walter Lantz and those guys from way back. I really wanted to become a cartoonist.
So you read a lot of comic strips and dug the comics?
Yeah, I dug the comics.
Okay, so that's where your inspiration came from. Now, you know, with the cover, and I want Chicago to really see this because this is a good piece of art. I mean, you know, it's awesome. And a lot of the vendors was checking it out, and they knew that you were going to be on the cover. And when we put it up there, they didn't really believe that a vendor did that. And I said, yeah, Joseph Molnar put that art together. What was inspired you to have, you know, the whole that look for the cover?
Well, it was a touchy topic, no pun intended. It was difficult for a man to come up with something that would be tasteful, have some impact, and perhaps give people a little bit of something to ponder as to what is actually going on out there with the girls. It's their choice. I have the physician symbol in one hand and symbolizing technology and medicine.
Exactly.
And the cross would symbolize the old style, natural, holistic approach. And she's in the middle. It's her choice. And she has this ugly creature around her neck. And it's not something that I think she would care to wear.
You know what? I didn't notice that. Now, I see now with the dress, that is a creature around the neck, and I thought it was really a top. So it's a lot of symbols in the art.
Yeah, I didn't want to get too carried away.
Well, you guys kind of deep on that. I didn't see it, though. And I like the symbolic about, you have the cross there and death, religion, and trying to find a cure, the medical aspect of it. And
she's in the middle, and she has to find her way out.
So, art like this, man, I like Salvador Dali.
Salvador.
And I get a little feel for the Salvador Dali in this, things that are in there. You see it the first time, then you don't see it the first time. You see something else the second time, subliminal or whatever you want to call it. Where would you like to take your art?
One day I would like to make a living at it. I have sold work before. Just had a few little interruptions. Life has its interruptions, ups and downs, and I lost some of my collection about a year and a half ago. About 8 or 9 years of work that I had accumulated, along with my tools, pencils, pastels, pens.
Right, and I know it does. They broke into my house and took a lot of my DJ equipment. But one thing you do have still, you have the blessing and the gift from God to continue to make your art and continue to create your art. They can't take that from you, man. And that's one thing keep in mind, because what I'm seeing right here, you definitely have a future, and I'm going to do my best to try to showcase it for you, because right now we're putting together websites for vendors, and I think you would be definitely a good candidate to have your own website, display your art, let people know your goals, and maybe somebody that may see it that want to help work with you and help you get out there and promote it, because you have a God-given talent. And it's right here on the cover, all 9,000 copies around the Chicagoland area right now. I'm very proud of you. Now, you have a very interesting story as far as your upbringing. I want to talk about that real quick. Where were you born?
I was born in East Europe, Hungary.
Okay.
And we came over during the 1956 Hungarian Revolution. Mm-hmm. Giving away my age, I'm in my 50s.
That's okay.
And Europe was always a politically volatile place for the past 100 years. 2 world wars. So my father said, "It's time to go."
Now you came to the United States when you were 5 years old.
Yeah.
Did your father help support your artwork when you were doing art and coming up, or was he, by you coming to the United States and trying to take advantage of an opportunity the states had to give? Did he stress more on education, and I guess you wanted to be an artist coming up, huh?
Well, in Europe, the way his upbringing was definitely in the technical end.
Okay.
Our artists were, they didn't make a lot of money over there in those days, and he didn't discourage me. But it was my mom who basically encouraged the art. My father wanted me to be an engineer.
Okay.
But I came to Chicago, and TV was just coming out, and I saw Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse and all those people on TV, and I just fell in love with that.
You wanted to do comics?
I wanted to do animation.
Animation?
Uh-huh.
Well, there's still maybe some room for you still in the animation world. I mean, with art like this.
Animation.
Art like this, you never know who may see it, who may be able to help you and respond. Chicago, we're here with vendor Joseph Molnar. He's responsible for this week's cover. StreetWise comes out every week. Every week our vendors have something to sell, they have something to promote, and have something to offer their customers. This right here is this week's issue. This is Joseph's cover, talking about breast cancer. Next week's edition, we're talking about continuing the vision. Marshall Field is going to be in next week's Streetwise. And so don't forget to check out the copies at any Streetwise vendor near you. We have them all over the Chicagoland and outlying Chicagoland areas. Joseph, I want to thank you for being on the show this week, and
thank you.
Good luck to you, man. We're going to do our part to working together, and that's what Streetwise is about, helping people help themselves. And I'm definitely going to do whatever I can to get your art out there, because I really believe People should check it out. KNTV, thank you for giving StreetWise the 9th season to be able to come into Chicagoland's households. And we'll see you guys next week. That's every Thursday at 5 o'clock. Stay focused, keep it real, and stay street.